The 3 times Jacob tricked Esau. Do you know taking the blessing meant for his brother was not the only time Jacob deceived Esau? Esau and Jacob were twins with a tumultuous relationship. They were on the opposite sides of everything. After they were conceived, they struggled so much in the womb that their mother had to inquire from God why she was suffering so much. Genesis 25 verses 22 to 23. 2 nations are in their womb, God said, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And the one people shall be stronger than the other people. The elder shall serve the younger. This set the foundation for the relationship between Jacob and Esau. They looked so different, had different occupations, and had different favorite parents, with Rachel favoring Jacob and Isaac favoring Esau. Now Jacob was quite cunning by nature. He was notorious for this. Unlike his honest and steadfast brother, Jacob got his way through cheating. So here are 3 times Jacob deceived Esau. The first time, when he took Esau's birthright for a pot of pottage. Esau was a hunter and always spent time in the fields hunting for game. One day he came back faint with hunger. He was so hungry he would do anything for food. That day Jacob had prepared a sumptuous pot of pottage, and Esau said to him, "Feed me, I pray thee, with that red pottage, for I am faint." As one twin to another, the moral thing to do was immediately give his brother food. But not Jacob. He offered to give Esau the meal in exchange for his birthright. Now that was a lot to ask in exchange for a simple meal. But knowing that his brother was faint and could die of hunger, he knew Esau's defenses were down, and Esau would have no choice but to sell his birthright. So on that day, Esau sold his birthright to Jacob for a pot of lentils pottage and some bread. The third time, when he took the blessings meant for Esau. As the years went by, Isaac became blind and could not see properly. He was also worried he would die soon of old age. So he sent Esau out to get him the best meat so he could eat it and bless Esau. Esau left to hunt for the best meat which he would prepare for his father. Rebekah, Esau and Jacob's mother, overheard the conversation and ran to get Jacob. She wanted Jacob to be blessed instead of Esau and convinced him to take Esau's place. To get ahead of Esau and prepare the meal before he got back, she asked Jacob to get 2 lambs from the flock grazing nearby, which she prepared just the way Isaac liked. When Jacob pointed out that Esau was hairy and that if his father noticed that Jacob had taken Esau's place, he would be cursed instead of being blessed, Rebekah promised him that the curse would be only upon her. She had plans to make Jacob look like Esau, so she prepared the meat, took Esau's garments in her house, and gave them to Jacob to wear. Then she put the skins of the goat on his hand and his neck to make it seem hairy. This way he would smell and feel as hairy as Esau. Thereafter, Jacob went to Isaac, pretending he was Esau. Isaac was suspicious at first, but Jacob kept confirming over and over again to Isaac that he was Esau. Isaac even asked him to get closer, smelling and touching him until he was convinced Jacob was Esau. Then he ate and blessed Jacob. Jacob left after taking the blessing. By the time Esau came with his food, there was no blessing left for him. Jacob had been blessed to be his head and to have dominion over him. After much weeping, Isaac did bless Esau that he would break the yoke his brother had over him when the time was right. This action by Jacob caused a big rift between the brothers, and Jacob had to leave town to go stay with his mother's brother for a while until Esau's anger cooled off. The third time, when he pretended he was ready to make amends with Esau, because of the rift between Esau and Jacob after he stole Esau's blessings, Jacob had to leave. He went to Haran to live with his mother's brother Laban. He spent the next 20 years working for Laban, got married to the 2 daughters of Laban, acquired a lot of wealth and servants. In Genesis 32, when Jacob left Laban, he decided to move back home. To go home, he would have to journey close to Seir in Edom, the land where Esau, his brother, was living at that time. He was worried Esau might hear about his return or passage and decide to hurt him. So he sent messengers before him to Esau. His message to his brother was simple. "Humble greetings from your servant Jacob. Until now I have been living with Uncle Laban, and now I own cattle, donkeys, flocks of sheep and goats, and many servants, both men and women. I have sent these messengers to inform my lord of my coming, hoping that you will be friendly to me." The messengers were to tell Esau that he had been with Laban for 20 years, that he had oxen, women, asses, and flocks, and he wanted to find grace in Esau's sight. The messengers who went to meet Esau reported back to Jacob that they met Esau and that Esau had 400 men at his command and was on his way to meet Jacob with his 400 men. Jacob was terrified. This was a complication he had not seen coming. Why would Esau come to meet him, with 400 men no less? He was so afraid Esau would try to harm him, so he divided his flocks, servants, and assets into 3 groups. He reasoned that if Esau tried to harm one group, the rest could flee. Then he went on his knees to pray. He told God, "When I left home and crossed the Jordan River, I owned nothing except a walking stick. Now my household fills 2 large camps. O Lord, please rescue me from the hand of my brother Esau. I am afraid that he is coming to attack me, along with my wives and children." He stayed there for the night. Then the next morning set to work. He selected 200 she-goats, 20 he-goats, 200 ewes, 20 rams, 30 milch camels, 40 kine, 10 bulls, 20 she-asses, and foals as gifts to present to Esau when they meet, to make Esau's heart softer towards him and his family. He divided these animals into herds and assigned each to different servants. Then he told his servants, "Go ahead of me with the animals, but keep some distance between the herds." He gave some instructions to the men leading the first group, saying, "When my brother Esau meets you, he will ask, 'Whose servants are you? Where are you going? Who owns these animals?' You must reply, 'They belong to your servant Jacob, but they are a gift for his master Esau. Look, he is coming right behind us." He repeated the same instructions to the second and third groups. Now all this was to appease his brother to not attack him. As Esau got closer and Jacob could see him and his 400 men in the distance, he then decided to divide his children amongst Leah, Rachel, and his 2 servant wives. He put the servant wives and their children at the front, Leah and her children next, and Rachel and Joseph last. Then he went on ahead. As he approached his brother, he bowed to the ground 7 times before him. In Genesis 33, Esau finally met Jacob. Jacob had been unnecessarily worried as Esau ran to him, embraced him, wept on his shoulders, and kissed him. It was apparent Esau had forgiven him and was ready to have them live together, but Jacob was still playing games. Unfortunately, as open and welcoming as Esau appeared to be, Jacob was still apprehensive. In Genesis 33, verse 12, when Esau asked them to go together to Seir and live as brothers, Jacob agreed but insisted that Esau should go ahead, as he had to move slowly because of the children, his wives, their maidservants, and the cattle. He said if they moved too fast, the animals could die. Esau then offered to leave some of his men with Jacob to assist him and make things easier for Jacob. But Jacob had a plan formulated, so he refused. He claimed Esau had done enough by receiving him warmly. So Esau went ahead to Seir, awaiting his brother. When Esau left for Seir, Jacob took another road to Succoth and stayed there, once again tricking his brother about a possible reconciliation when he only wanted safe passage.